We start this morning with some breaking news, though, coming in from Uttar Pradesh, where a third train derailment has taken place in a matter of a month. 7 coaches of the Shaktipunj Express derailed near Obra in the Sonbhadra district of the state. Remember, this is the third such incident that's taken place in Uttar Pradesh in a matter of a month. There were derailments in Kanpur and Muzaffarnagar earlier. The third incident that's taken place in the Sonbhadra district of Uttar Pradesh. Just sketchy details coming in at this point. I'm going to ask my colleague Jessica Taneja, who's joining us live from the newsroom, to fill in the gaps for us. Jessica, morning. What more details can you share with us at this point?
Absolutely unfortunate, Aisha, this morning that another train derailment has taken place, the third consecutive one. I think the railway officials need to give a lot of answers, but at the moment, with the details that we can give out, is that this is called the Howrah-Jabalpur Shaktipunj Express, which is derailed near Obra. Thankfully, no injuries have been reported so far, but further operations and looking into the detail of the accident site and more inspection by the authorities will give out further details. To add a bit more here, Aisha, this is exactly not what is going right with the train derailments, or so to say, with the ministry in particular, because we've seen so many train derailments in the past that it's almost become a usual routine to sort of hear news when it comes to train derailments. Remember, as you also mentioned, there was this that train had derailed, and the Uttar, in fact, yes, Express, and many other before that. In fact, even the Kaifiyat Express, which had derailed and injured 70 others, and of course the Kalinga Utkal Express train, which derailed 23. So of course this particular the series of train derailment accidents that we've been seeing in the country, especially in Uttar Pradesh, if we so to specify, is not just astonishing now, and one does not want to accept this as a usual one-time accident, because we've been seeing incidents after incidents of in a similar manner. And it seems like the railway ministry is unable to come out with plans or have better train routes. Remember, absolutely, there were incidents earlier that there was another, the train derailment took place only because the tracks were changed in the end minute. The engineers were not informed. The train driver did not get proper communication at that time. So this is in fact coming up as a problem for the railway ministry, and one will have to wait and speculate as to what is going to happen now.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you brought up the railway ministry, because there has been a change of guard there very recently. Suresh Prabhu making way for Mr. Piyush Goyal, who is the new Indian Railways Minister, and it seems like his work is cut out for him. But also, Jessica, give us a bit more detail perhaps on, I understand that the details on injuries etc. are very sketchy, but in terms of what the state is saying as far as these incidents are going, do we have an understanding of where the problem seems to lie? This is a derailment once again, which has been the case in the, as far as the Kaifiyat Express goes, and the Utkal Express as well. So is derailment, really speaking, one of the main issues and improper laying of tracks that the state is facing as far as the railways go?
Yes, Aisha, it seems that in fact this is the exact problem. But to answer the first part of your question, yes, we do not have a lot of details. All we know is the 7 coaches have in fact been derailed, and no injuries have been reported so far. So more details will be emerging as and when an inspection takes place by the authorities which reach on the ground. But it's important to highlight, Aisha, that this is Uttar Pradesh yet again, and the authorities have failed again and again to even rectify or justify as to what is happening with trains. And remember, in a country like India, it is the trains that go out to every and each remote district.
Absolutely,
there are no airports, and flights are not available, and this is exactly the most important mode of transport for people. So if we see frequent train derailments and people getting used to these accidents, it is very difficult to sort of adjust to a certain transportation system, and the ministry of course has to be answerable. And then again, you also rightly pointed out that train derailments, we've seen one after the other. Yes, it's become a usual course of illusion, so to say, for me at least, that, you know, train derailments are here, are so often visible, and especially when you go towards UP. I am from Uttar Pradesh. My hometown is in Uttar Pradesh, and I happen to take a train course every now and then. And to be honest, for the past 2 months, I haven't been able to take a train, route, because it is horrifying. That even after repeated train derailments, the ministry has not been able to solve the issue because of end-minute confusion, changing tracks. The engineers,
Jessica, allow me to come in. Jessica, allow me to come in. I'm glad you were able to give us a first-hand experience as well, being from Uttar Pradesh yourself and giving us an idea of what the situation is like.